for maintaining peace in Kibiti Coast region. A fire guts 8 dormitories at Uso Secondary School in Bukoba district, Kagera region. And in sports, the National Sports Council pays tribute to retired President Benjamin Mkapa for building a stadium which meets Olympic standards. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. First, the national news. President Dr. John Pombe Magufuli has commended defense and security organs for ensuring peace prevailed in Kibiti Coast region and urged residents in the area to provide information on criminal activities so as to maintain peace in the area. President Magufuli made the statement when addressing residents of Kibiti on his way to Dar es Salaam from Mtwara, where he had attended the burial of retired President of the Third Phase Government Benjamin Mkapa, held yesterday in Lupaso Village, Masasi District, Kagera, Mtwara region.
Tuchape kazi, tushikamane, tuitunze amani yetu.
What I'm asking of you is that you must work hard and be united and preserve our peace. We must work with law enforcement and security organs. In the past, this area was bad. I commend law enforcement and security organs. People used to be scared to walk in this area, but lawbreakers were protected by us. We lived with them, so let this not be repeated. It is probable why services came late because we welcomed wrong people to come and live with us and protected them. The government is alert and strong, so if you see such characters, then please do not hesitate to report them.
Wanafanya mauaji, sisi tunawasikiliza.
A fire has gutted dormitories at Uso Secondary School run by the Roman Catholic Church in Bukoba district, Kagera region. The fire, which started at 9 p.m. last night, destroyed all assets belonging to 67 students at the school, with the rescue and fire force saying they were not able to put out the fire early as their vehicle broke down on the way to the school.
I heard a lot of noise, so I went out to see what was going on. The report about the fire came in late. I received a call at around 9:35, but once I got here, I was informed that fire started at around 9:12 to 9:15. No one has been hurt or died. All of us are safe. So we must continue to thank God for this. What is going to take place next is that experts will conduct an investigation.
The vice chairman of opposition Chadema party, Tundu Lissu, who arrived from Belgium 3 days ago, today failed to appear in Kisutu Resident Magistrate Court in Dar es Salaam to face 2 cases facing him at the court. Here are more details.
The defense's advocate Peter Kibatala had requested the court to plan another date for hearing of the case, as his client Tundu Lissu has been unwell for a long time and has been advised to rest, to which the Republic agreed that hearing of both 2 cases to start on August 26th this year. In the case, Tundu Lissu is alleged to have issued seditious statements with the aim of inciting the public in Kibunju, Maungani Magharibi B district, Mjini Magharibi region in Zanzibar, while in the second case, the accused is alleged to have made seditious religious statements in Ufipa area, Kinondoni district, Dar es Salaam.
Police from Dar es Salaam Special Police Zone have killed 3 criminals who are alleged to have been involved in criminal activities after identifying themselves as police officers of the force.
Wanaweza kawa 6 lakini anayetakiwa kukamatwa ni mmoja, anamgusa bega. Mazingira hayo huondoshwa na mtu mwenyewe. Kabla hujamfikia kianza kukimbia, basi anakuwa yeye mwenyewe anaelewa atakiwa kujulishwa kile anachokamatiwa nacho. Lakini pia askari anapokuja anatakiwa jitambulishe. na uniform sio peke yake inaweza kukufanya ukaamini kwamba huyu ni askari, kwa sababu ili ni vazi tu. Mtu yoyote anaweza kukuta imeanikwa kaenda kanyosha kavaa, na tumeshuhudia mara nyingi. Nishamleta inspector feki hapa ambaye naye alikuwa anafanya kazi za polisi huko mtaani, lakini watu wakiamini kwamba ni mkaguzi msaidizi wa polisi.
Residents from Wegita village, Kibasuka ward, Tarime district, Mara region have expressed concern on the poor state of roads and the lack of safe and clean water. They say they will not participate in the coming general elections and vote for leaders in the constituency until their grievances were addressed.
Kero kuu sisi huku Wegita ni barabara. Yaani barabara yetu tangia miaka hii haijawahi kutengenezwa.
The road is in such a poor state, and it has been many years since it was last repaired.
Tuna shida ya maji hapa kijiji cha Wegita.
There is a lack of water. We had a bit of relief after the rains. We use this for cooking and to do laundry, but we don't have drinking water.
Barabara yetu imekuwa ni shida, serikali imeshatusahau kila mwaka.
It is like we've been forgotten. On every election we are promised empty promises.
The chairman of Zanzibar Electoral Commission, retired Judge Hamid Mahmoud, has announced that the new voting law will become effective on the 27th of October this year, one day before the general election kicks off.
Kura mapema utawahusisha watendaji wanaosimamia majukumu ya uchaguzi siku ya uchaguzi.
Early voting will include officers in charge of the election on the election day. These include electoral supervisors, polling stations supervisors, police officers on duty on the election day, and electoral delegates.
Uchaguzi imetoa vitambulisho hivyo miezi mitatu kabla ya uchaguzi wenyewe.
The IDs have been issued 3 months before the election, and if there are any challenges, will be addressed as they arise.
Kitambulisho chake kabla ya upigaji wa kura kufanyika.
Students from primary, secondary and higher education institutions in the country have been urged to continue taking sanitation measures against the coronavirus and communicable diseases. The call was made by the Director of Children's Development from the Ministry of Health, Community Development, Gender, the Elderly and Children, Mwajuma Magwiza, when receiving a donation of sanitation facilities for 222 secondary schools in the DODOMA region.
Our objective is not just to protect ourselves against COVID-19, but to build a culture of cleanliness in our children at school.
Katika kuhakikisha kwamba watoto wanakuwa katika mazingira mazuri.
In making sure that children are in good environment, health-wise, also during this period. As you know, Honorable President has shown a lot of faith in fighting corona. So as a Christian organization, we saw it right to have that kind of faith.
Now, donors from Korea have launched a project in collaboration with World Vision and the government to support residents from villages in Karatu district, ARUSHA region, address challenges caused by lack of safe and clean water.
To benefit from this project, as all we know that if you don't handle the children well, then the society is lost. So let us reduce child death, and let us also reduce the death of mothers while giving life.
I'm confident that through this aid, maternal and infant deaths will be eradicated to a big extent. We will work together in the construction as well as in other areas.
And that is the end of national news. International news follows next. And in international news, The ruling party in Uganda, the National Resistance Movement NRM, has started to test samples from its members for COVID-19 after 2 of its high-level leaders were confirmed to have infected with the virus. Cities in Kenya will not reopen until January this year due to the increase of coronavirus cases in the country. The announcement was made by the Minister of Education, Professor George Magoha, during a meeting with education stakeholders.
Have to go, and these institutions are definitely not ready. That it is fair and just to keep these institutions closed until January of 2021. So we want to encourage the university sector that are offering online exams.
The government in Rwanda has called on the public to limit unnecessary movements, including visits to friends and family, as the number of COVID-19 infections in the country is approaching 2,000 cases. The call was made by the cabinet meeting chaired by President Paul Kagame, which also discussed the need to increase vigilance in implementing COVID-19 preventative measures. Being the 5th country in the world that fights coronavirus intensively shows that we have done a tremendous job. And through this, the world has been assured that Rwanda is a very safe country. People should feel free to visit. And that is the end of international news. Business news follows shortly after the break.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
To change the mindset of traditional HR to the digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving that vision.
Business have involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, or shared agricultural production, infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and in business news. Tanzania National Parks Authority, TANAPA, has reduced the rates of some fees for entering and exiting national parks in the country and removed taxes for tourists who buy cultural products sold by local communities near the national parks.
Wageni wanapokuwa ndani ya hifadhi na kwa sababu vibali vilikuwa haviwaruhusu.
When tourists are within the parks, they used to pay and concentrate on one activity, causing traditional tourism to decline in the country. Thus, Tanzania National Reserve Authority decided to intervene and made amendments on levies that were charged in some of tourism services available in national parks. Uyui District Council in Tabora region has allocated more than 20 million shillings in order to increase cashew nut production and buying of seedlings so that farmers can produce the crop commercially. 2020 to 2022 season, 25 million shillings has been set for developing cashew nut crop. This means that seedlings that are going to be planted in this season will give more yields.
Mbegu ambazo ni mzuri, yani ilikuwa limeachanizwa
Farmers that had already planted cashew nut trees, if you compare them with the current farms that their farmers have attended these trainings, will have a big difference. Small food processors in MWANZA region have been urged to add value to their produce by adhering to required quality standards so that they can become more competitive and get reliable markets. Getting certified stamp will make your products pass a standard set for domestic and foreign markets. Never underestimate contributions that are made by entrepreneurs in this country. There is a great percentage of your efforts that has contributed in making Tanzania a middle-income. In order to give value to your products, you must improve quality of your products so as to bring impact to individual and country's economy. This is the end of business news. Sports news follows shortly.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's been dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's been dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Joaquinho, he did lose to Lent.
In sports news, the National Sports Council have paid tribute to the former President of the United Republic of Tanzania, the late Benjamin William Mkapa, for building a stadium which meet Olympic standards requirements.
As sports stakeholders, and we as the sports authority in Tanzania, will remember the former president, the late Benjamin Mkapa. He has given us an internal thing. He built us a stadium. This is an Olympic standard stadium. It is a complex where every sport can be played. There is no sport that can fail to be played here.
The NBA Basketball League is set to return on DSTV after a break since the 2016-2017 season, with MultiChoice company also launching a new series known as Karma.
Tunamleta kwenu Wema kwa ile talent ambayo anajulikana. Tunaamini talent hiyo ya Wema kuwepo kwenye Maisha Magic Bongo, ambao ni platform inayoonekana Afrika nzima, inaenda kuharness kile ambacho Wema anacho. Sisi tunafahamu na nyie mnafahamu.
Manchester City have agreed to sign Nathan Ake from Bournemouth for £40 million, rising to a possible £41 million with add-ons, taking their outlay in 2 days to more than £64 million after a deal was struck to buy the winger Ferran Torres from Valencia. Here's more on the story.
We'll turn to Ake after hitting problems in his pursuit for Napoli's Kalidou Koulibaly. The fee represents a significant profit for Bournemouth, who signed the Netherlands international from Chelsea for £20 million in 2017. Ake's departure became inevitable after Bournemouth's relegation from the Premier League, and with the 25-year-old not having a clause to reduce his wages, although City had expected to sign him in any event. Guardiola has been intent on strengthening his defence after City's limp title defence following the departure of Vincent Kompany, and with John Stones failing to live up to expectations.
Chelsea hope Leicester will be forced to lower their asking price for Ben Chilwell by the left back requesting a transfer. Here's more on the story.
Frank Lampard is looking for defensive reinforcements, and knows left back has been a problem position this season. The manager is not convinced by Marcos Alonso and Emerson Palmieri, the latter a target for Internazionale and Juventus, and is a big fan of Chilwell, although Chelsea could look elsewhere if the England international prove too expensive. Leicester are regarded as tough negotiators and could demand the kind of money they received for Harry Maguire, who joined Manchester United for £80 million last summer. Chelsea, who are considering whether to strengthen in central defence by bidding for West Ham's Declan Rice, have identified Ajax Nicolas Tagliafico and Atlanta's Robin Gosens as alternative targets.
And Sir Immobile has moved to within 1 goal of Gonzalo Higuain's single-season Serie A scoring record with a late strike in the Lazio's 2-0 win over Brescia.
Simone Inzaghi's side kept their hopes of a second-place finish alive with a dominant display against opponents who have already been relegated back to Serie B. Immobile set up the opener, exchanging passes with Joaquin Correa, who weaved his way through several defenders before scoring from close range. The hosts had plenty more chances to add to their lead, with Immobile skimming the post, but the striker had to wait until 8 minutes from time, finishing from a title angle for his 35th goal of the season as Correa turned provider. Lazio's last game of the season is away to Napoli on Saturday.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin for tonight. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. Thank you for watching and good night.
Strategic mineral resources, Africa is now profiled as a new investment frontier. The holiday economy deserves special attention. Africa's unspoiled nature, wildlife, and pristine beaches are driving major investments in tourism. The abundance of arable land is attracting a growing interest investment in agricultural production and processing to meet a global burgeoning food need. This complex and rapidly unfolding scene in Africa calls for a critical re-examination of purpose, policy, promulgation, and provision of the aspiration of development and partnership. What kind of development? Development for whom? Under what conditions? I look forward to hearing from you. It is necessary to remind ourselves, however, that the purpose and target of development